Bible says in James 1:19 that we are supposed to be slow to speak, quick to hear, slow to wrath, to anger, right? And I give you a clear example of why this is key, right? So there is a gentleman, I'm a senior chief and I deal with a lot of senior civilians, senior officers, and a lot of times some of them may have like a status quo that they go by, and they're not familiar with the most updated practices and things that don't make like common sense or aren't just common to folks. They will think it doesn't make sense, right? So for example, they were like, hey, why are you trying to do a rest overnight in Japan when you could just fly straight there, right? You'll be spending too much money doing that. So their logic says that as long as if I fly straight somewhere, which there's no such thing, you got to have at least 2 to 3 layovers. At least with the contract we're on, they'll give you about 2 to 3 layovers, and you're charged for each one of those layovers. So they think automatically just because I'm going to stay somewhere that's going to cost more. When in reality, once you get the ticket with the 2 different layovers going somewhere, it'll be like $2,500, right? $3,000. But then if you look and break it down and split it from like Norfolk to Japan, it'll only be $1,000. Then you look at the amount that it'll cost for a hotel and food, etc. for that night, be like 300 something bucks total. So that's $1,300, right? Compared to the $2,800 for just flying somewhere straight. And then I get to keep my sanity and my dignity, because who wants to be flying 28 hours straight and only sleeping on planes, right? But I first have to hear them out when they say that, and I'm very slow to speak, and I say, okay, well, how about this? I think it'll be more beneficial for me to do rest overnight. Let me show that to you on paper, and then show you the newest updated policy, right? So once I do that and I give them all the information, they're shocked. They're like, whoa, hold on. You actually saved $1,000 by doing the rest overnight. And then on my benefit, I get to see some cool things. Compared to doing it their way, we'd actually be spending more money. And that's why status quo doesn't work. But I wouldn't be able to accomplish this if I just tried to argue with them, or they felt like I was arguing with them, because I'm the lower man on totem pole. So that's why I'm slow to speak, quick to hear, and slow to get angry.